For just 10 to 20 grand a month, you can keep a young, pretty college girl. I'm a sugar daddy broker. I match sugar babies with their sponsors. Liuli was the hottest woman who'd ever come to me, and also the strangest. She had just one requirement for her sugar daddy: fat. The fatter, the better. When I saw that message, I froze and rubbed my eyes hard. Nope, I wasn't seeing things. I frowned, tapping my knuckles on the desk. See, normally, a sugar daddy being too fat is a massive red flag. Once a guy gets fat, he looks greasy and bloated and his stamina tanks. Slightest movement and he's drenched in stinking sweat. Most women in this game can't deal with a fat sponsor. Only the truly desperate ones grit their teeth and bear it. But someone like her, actively requesting a fat guy? First time I'd ever seen that. Worried I got it wrong. I double-checked. When you say fat, you mean physically fat? She confirmed. And just like that, excitement surged through me. A lot of rich guys live the high life, eating and drinking non-stop. They've blown up like balloons, looks completely gone. No matter how loaded they are, they can't land a quality girl. They end up paying way more for plain-looking women. But if a gorgeous woman who's actually into fat guys showed up in front of them, they'd throw money like it's nothing, so I agreed right away. Told her I'd find her the perfect match, and we set up a meeting for that afternoon. I've seen too many cases where the photos and the real person are night and day. Only after seeing her in person would I feel confident enough to squeeze cash out of those rich guys. That afternoon, in a private room at an upscale restaurant, I sipped my tea, eyes glancing at my watch. The second the hands hit our agreed time, the door swung open. When I saw the figure walk in, my heart skipped a beat. She was even prettier than her photos. I jumped up and pulled out a chair for her. After chatting, I learned her name, Liuli. I've been around all kinds of women, but around Liuli, I couldn't keep my cool. One look at that stunning face and those soul-piercing eyes, and I could barely string a sentence together. After a quick rundown, Liuli cut right to it. Can you meet my requirements? I nodded. I've got a guy, weighs about 310 pounds. Her eyes lit up. Nice. Set it up, I can't wait to meet him. She slid her tongue across her lips, looking satisfied. What a freak, I cursed to myself. Perfectly good men out there, and she wants a fat slob. Picturing her pinned under some 300-pound whale, it made my blood boil. But of course I couldn't show it. I kept my smile and asked what she'd like to eat. She gave me this weird look and shook her head with a smile. What I like to eat, they don't serve that here. I've got to run. She stood up. I eagerly grabbed her bag, and that's when I caught a glimpse of her phone screen. The wallpaper was a morbidly obese woman. She was lying in bed, looking like she weighed 400 or 500 pounds, fat sagging off her face, but something about her features looked familiar. Liuli gave me a faint smile. That's me, last year. I was floored. Liuli currently weighed about 108 pounds. She dropped over 300 pounds in a single year? Is that even possible? By the time I snapped out of it, she was already gone. Back home, I sent Liuli's photos and info straight to Wang Pao. A second later, my phone was blowing up. I picked up. Wang Pao's voice nearly blew out my eardrums. Songming, you messing with me? A girl that fine would be into a fat dude like me? Wang Pao was a big shot, owned a bunch of restaurants, had connections on both sides of the law. I laughed along. Boss? Would I ever lie to you? I've checked her out myself. Trust me on this, but price-wise, you gotta go big or someone else will snatch her up. Wang Pao scoffed and tore into me. You little punk! Questioning my spending power? This girl's mine. Anyone tries to compete, I'll end them. Tell her, 100 grand a month. You pull this off on top of your commission. I'll throw you 100 grand bonus. I was ecstatic. Thanked him a dozen times. After hanging up, I was grinning ear to ear. Industry rule, commission equals 1 month's allowance. Plus Wang Pao's bonus. This one deal netted me 200 grand. That's months of income right there. With Wang Pao dropping this kind of money, I had to make sure nothing went wrong. Losing the commission would be the least of my worries. If something went sideways, Wang Pao wouldn't let me off easy. Normally in this business, you let the sugar baby find her own way there. But this time, I decided to personally deliver Liuli to Wang Pao. Next day, I drove to pick her up. When I got to the address she sent, I was surprised. Luxury complex. Even just renting here. The monthly rent would be insane. Women who needed a sponsor because they were broke wouldn't be living here. Thinking back to Liuli, telling me money's not important, I realized I couldn't figure this woman out. Today, she wore a blue dress, tight, perfectly hugging every curve. She got in the passenger seat without a word. Her scent kept drifting over, making me feel like ants were crawling under my skin. The closer we got to Wang Pao's place, the worse I felt. I was starting to regret introducing her to him. I broke the silence. Can I ask him, why do you prefer fat guys? From what I've seen, most women are pretty turned off by them. Liuli glanced at me. Her expression was unreadable. I couldn't tell what was behind those eyes. After a long pause, she spoke. It's better you don't know. Soon we pulled up to Wang Pao's villa. While waiting for him, I handed Liuli a bracelet. Made good money on this deal. This is a gift for you. I spent over 10 grand on it, custom made. Top-notch design and materials. Liuli looked at it, said thanks, and slipped it on. Through the window, I spotted Wang Pao. He walked painfully slow. Every step, his massive gut jiggled and swayed. A few steps, and he was already dripping with sweat. When Liuli stepped out, Wang Pao's eyes went wide. He licked his thick lips, Adam's apple bobbing. Liuli walked over with a smile and took his arm. Wang Pao was so excited he couldn't even speak. He shot me a thumbs up, wrapped his arm around her waist, and hurried inside. I watched them disappear. Felt like a chunk of my heart got ripped out. Hollow and miserable. Soon my phone buzzed. A notification. 200 grand had just hit my account. But I couldn't feel happy about it. Back in the car, I put in my earbuds. That bracelet I gave Liuli, I'd planted a bug in it, soon enough. Heavy breathing filled my ears. Wang Pao's dazed voice came through. Beautiful. So damn beautiful. Then, Liu Li's moans started echoing in my ears. My mind painted the picture. My fists clenched on their own, nails digging deep into my palms. I couldn't take it anymore. Ripped out the earbuds and slammed them on the floor. Drove off. Over the next few days, I buried myself in work, trying to forget Liu Li, until I saw a post online. It was from Wang Pao's family, posted from his phone. Wang Pao was dead. Died of illness. Memorial at his home tomorrow. I was stunned. Last time I saw him, he was perfectly fine. How could he be dead after just 3 days? Did he overdo it with Liu Li and just drop dead? I didn't know whether to be happy or sad. Happy that Liu Li was free from Wang Pao. Sad because even without him, she'd never look at a guy like me. Still, I decided to go to the memorial. Maybe I'd run into Liu Li there. Next day, I cleaned up and headed over. Wang Pao had connections everywhere. Friends and business partners packed the place. I looked around, no sign of Liu Li. People were whispering all around, was it his heart? Fat guys always have heart problems. No way it was his heart. Did you see his body? Scared the hell out of me. If you ask me, this wasn't any disease. A group huddled together, different looks on their faces, whispering back and forth. I eavesdropped from the side, my mind racing with questions. What the hell happened to Wang Pao? Driven by curiosity, I followed the crowd into the morning hall and took 3 incense sticks from his family. I bowed before Wang Pao's memorial. In the black and white portrait, the fat on his face had squeezed his eyes into slits. Through those slits, his eyes stared straight at me. Made my skin crawl. I got up and left quick. But as I passed his coffin, I glanced inside. The second I saw Wang Pao's body, I nearly